Hello, how you guys doing? Hope back with another video. Um, I'm gonna show you something that's really been. I don't know what is with some people that think that when it comes to a certain population of people, that people get nervous and they start getting insecure and fear start coming out. So we're gonna look at what they call the white population. Obviously, I'm not white. You can see that. But what classifies white, people have been saying the white people was on decline. But I'm gonna show you with a couple of these videos, and this is piggyback off what the latest what some people bring up like an all white town in the middle of the Arkansas. But let me show you this data. I mean, cause it. Let me show you. Hold on. Can you see my? See if you can see my video. This shows you the state Hawaii, California is at 19%. California is 33%. The white population in New Mexico is 34%. The District of Columbia is 36%. Texas is 38%. Nevada is 44%. Maryland is 47.2%. Georgia is 49.8%. Florida is 58%. New Jersey 51.5%. Arizona 51.8%. New York 53%. Wisconsin 55.7%. Mississippi. Louisiana 57%. Alaska 57%. Dominion 57.7%. Illinois 58.5% of the white population. Virginia 58.9%. Delaware 59%. North Carolina 69.9%. Connecticut 62%. Oklahoma 62.8%. South Carolina 62.8%. Washington is 63.6%. Alabama 64.5%. Colorado 65%. Massachusetts 67.3%. Arkansas 67.7%. Rhode Island 68%. Georgia 71.8% of the white population. Tennessee 72.1%. Michigan 72.9%. Kansas 73.3%. Pennsylvania 73.3%. Utah 75.6%. Nebraska 75.9%. Indiana 76.1%. Minnesota 76.3%. Ohio 70.6.3%. Missouri 76.9%. Wisconsin 79.1%. These are all white populations. Idaho 79.3%. South Dakota 80.1%. Wyoming 81.9%. Kentucky 82.5%. North Dakota 82.88%. Iowa 82.9%. Montana 82.8%. The New Hampshire 86.7%. The white population in Vermont 90.4%. West Virginia 90.4%. Maine 95.4%. So it goes back to saying, with all the percentage, why would you need to make a white town? Let's go. Let's hear another video.
When people think about demographics in America, the focus often gravitates toward diversity. Which states are the most multicultural, where immigrant communities are growing, or which cities celebrate international festivals. But understanding where populations remain relatively homogeneous can be just as revealing, especially in terms of history, migration patterns, cultural preservation, and even modern lifestyle preferences. Today, we're going to look at the 10 whitest states in the U.S., not to highlight exclusion, but to understand how history shaped these regions and how their populations have remained remarkably consistent over time. Many of these states were settled centuries ago by Europeans, and their descendants continue to shape local culture, traditions, cuisine, and even architecture. From Scandinavian barns in Iowa to French-Canadian roots in New Hampshire, each of these states has a story to tell. Number 10 is Nebraska. With 86% of its population identifying as white, is a prime example of how a state's demographic profile can remain steady for over a century. The massive influx of European settlers in the 19th century shaped Nebraska's cultural and social backbone. Germans, Czechs, Irish, and Scandinavians brought not only farming techniques but also language, religion, and architecture. The cultural impact is still visible. Oktoberfest is celebrated in small towns, Lutheran churches dot the rural landscape, and traditional dishes like kolaches, Czech pastries, are common at local bakeries. Even the naming trends in Nebraska point to this heritage. Names like Oliver, Henry, and Theodore echo 19th century roots. Number 9 is Montana, where 87% of the population is white, is often associated with rugged cowboys and scenic wilderness. But behind the cowboy mythos is a deep European heritage. German and Italian settlers made their homes in places like Fergus County, while cattle ranching was led by the English and Scottish. This duality of a rugged frontier and European legacy still defines Montana's identity. Notably, the Basque also played a role, particularly in sheep herding. Their presence may not be widely known outside the region, but Basque festivals and family names endure. Number 8 is Utah. It stands out not just for its 88% white population, but for its uniquely religious foundation. The state is synonymous with Mormon culture, and nearly 70% of Utahns identify as members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The Mormon pioneers who arrived in 1847 were largely from the British Isles, Denmark, and Norway, forming a tight-knit and culturally consistent society. This uniformity isn't accidental. Early Mormons intentionally settled in isolation, building towns with communal values and shared beliefs. The result was a strong preservation of their ethnic and cultural identity, still visible today in food, fashion, and architecture. Number 7 is Iowa. With 89% of its residents identifying as white, Iowa may not top the list, but culturally, it feels like it could. The state is filled with reminders of its Scandinavian, Dutch, and German roots. From orange-clad crowds at the Pella Tulip Festival to Nordic-style churches and folk music, Iowa has embraced its European lineage. Number 6 is Wyoming. The state may be best known for Yellowstone and wide-open prairies, but its population, 91% white, has deep British and German roots. In 1870, immigrants from the British Isles made up 20% of the territory's entire population, and they brought with them a love of ranching, hunting, and frontier independence. Number 5 is Idaho. Its 92% white population reflects a long-standing preference for simplicity and self-reliance. In the 19th century, settlers from England came to Idaho not just for land, but to escape high taxes and governmental oversight. The state, still sparsely populated, offered a fresh start with minimal interference, a theme that continues to resonate with today's residents. Number 4 is New Hampshire. At 92% white, the state is steeped in colonial history. British settlers first populated the area in the 1600s, and they were soon followed by waves of Irish and Scottish immigrants. By the 1800s, French Canadians from Quebec also moved south to work in the booming textile mills, and their presence still lingers in food, surnames, and Catholic traditions. Number 3 is West Virginia. The state surprises many by ranking only third, despite its near-total demographic consistency. With 93% of the population identifying as white, most of the state, particularly outside the cities, lacks ethnic diversity. The mountainous terrain and rural isolation have historically made West Virginia less accessible to immigration and cultural change. The original settlers, primarily Scots, Irish, and German, passed down a unique mix of folk traditions, especially in music. Appalachian bluegrass and storytelling are deeply rooted in Scottish and Irish customs. Even today, many families trace their ancestry to those early pioneers, and traditions have remained remarkably.
You've got this, and we've got you. That's what you can expect from the #1 largest nursing school in the...
So my question is, why would any white person get insecure about their population dropping when it's clearly they hold the most population? And why would they target at other people? I don't understand these white nationalists and these other people. Like, why are you focusing when you already hold the population? You already hold, from different states. So we're going to go to this other video. They'll do like a 5-minute one. And I'm going to show you where this background come from.
Imagine a world where safety and community blend seamlessly, creating havens of peace and harmony. Picture places like the serene landscapes of Japan or the tranquil towns of Switzerland, where low crime rates and a strong sense of community make them some of the safest spots.
Hold on. You know what? Hold on. Let me come back to that. I just don't understand this. Let me go back to his. I'll go ahead and play this video out.
On Earth. Now, let's bring that vision closer to home, right here in the United States. In 2024, we're spotlighting the 10 safest and whitest states, where safety isn't just a statistic, but a way of life. These states have earned their place on our list due to their impressive safety scores and predominantly white populations, reflecting a unique blend of cultural homogeneity and security. Factors such as low crime rates, community engagement, and overall quality of life contribute to their ranking, making them standout choices for those seeking a peaceful environment. Number 10, Wyoming. Wyoming offers a refreshing change for those seeking a safe and peaceful lifestyle. Known for its low crime rates, Wyoming stands out as one of the safest states in the United States, with only 2.02 violent crimes per 1,000 people. It is significantly below the national average of 4.0. This makes it an ideal place for individuals who prioritize safety and community. The state is characterized by small, close-knit communities where neighbors genuinely care for one another. Financially, Wyoming is also appealing due to its lack of state income tax and low property taxes, allowing residents to stretch their dollars further. The cost of living is relatively low, with the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment being around $1,087 per month. Essentials like groceries and healthcare are also more affordable compared to the national average, providing residents with more financial breathing room. The demographic makeup of Wyoming is predominantly white, with approximately 87.35% of the population identifying as such in 2024. Most residents live in rural areas or small towns, creating a serene and tranquil atmosphere that contrasts sharply with the hustle and bustle of larger cities. Life in Wyoming is enriched by its stunning natural beauty, offering endless opportunities for outdoor activities, whether it's fishing, hiking, or simply enjoying the breathtaking views of Yellowstone National Park or the Grand Tetons. Wyoming's vast open spaces allow for a slower pace of life. It's an ideal location for those looking to downsize and embrace a simpler...
But yeah, too much interruption. Yeah, so I just don't get it. It's like that any person who's white is so insecure about other people when you have a good. This might be these are the people that, because I know not every white person thinks like that, but these are people that always got to be complaining about blacks and immigrants and Jewish people. Now you might deal with some Jewish people because there's some white Jewish people out there, but as far as any other ethnic group of people, you're not gonna find the heaviest population of people out there. It's so you and your children, your grandchildren, is going around. Despite there's a report saying that the white population is dropping off. Trust me, they're still holding in these towns and counties. And so I don't get why people make things like the people that made the all white towns. Like, why do you need an all white town when majority of the population is out in these states is white? You can pick any county. Now, whether they believe in your beliefs, that's one thing. But if they're white, what difference does it make? You can have a difference of opinion. But in different probably spiritual religion, but that's about it. It's like, why would they get so insecure about being around other people? And and if you don't want to go there, because one thing Brother Phil always says, let's see the whitest countries, because hold on. Let me see if I can pull that up. Because if you let me go back to that. Okay, we're gonna look at the whitest countries. The largest white population. This is back in 1900 to 2010. The largest white population U.S. and Canadian cities since the early 1900s to 2010 was Philadelphia. Can't see that. Detroit. It's just showing during the timeline where their population was high. This was the white population. Each city from Montreal, Toronto, Cleveland, Boston, Baltimore. But this is over time that it was 1950s. Now you're gonna get some. Let's hear this man.
Do you know QuickBooks Online can streamline your business finances with your financial accounts and apps in one place?
The declining white population in the United States. This isn't good. Having a cultural, what's the word I look for? Dominance is important in almost any society. It's not. We've had many societies run by minorities. Many societies. I mean, was Iraq or Iran or something like that? I can't remember. Maybe it's even Syria, where the minority is running the major majority, and that's not good, man. That's not South Africa, perfect example of that with apartheid. But now we're getting into the the problem of minorities across the board. Because the interesting thing was, whites are going to drop like a freaking brick in water because of a couple things. One, we're older. That's just all there is to it. The white population is significantly older than all the other populations in the United States, which means we're dying off at a much more quickly rate than all the other populations. Two, whites just aren't having that many kids. Asians aren't having that many kids. I mean, there's a lot of culturals that are not, but whites in the West in particular are not, or not in particular, the whites in the West aren't having that many kids in Europe. And of course, in America, we're doing better than they are in Europe because we kick ass and they don't. But we're not. I don't even know what the replacement rate is. What, 2.1 per woman? I'm not even sure though if we're even getting that in whites in the United States. I don't know. Part three is that right now, or at least as of 2024, Northern Africans and Middle Easterners were considered white in the census, right? And there's 3.5 to 4 million of these people that, as of the next census reading, will not be considered white anymore. They'll be considered MENA, Middle Eastern Northern Africans. They will not be considered white anymore. And that's a significant population, and I certainly imagine a lot of that population is having more kids than your typical white that we have here in the United States. So we're dropping, and yet somehow, because the baby boomers are still in charge of the cultural dynamics in terms of they don't recognize how much the country is different from what it used to be when they were growing up in the 60s and 70s. Back then, because of basically no immigration at all from like 1920s on, they were never raised around any other, maybe a couple blacks, maybe a couple Hispanics, but other than that, no one else, none, because there's no immigration at all. And they still think, because who they see in their upper enclaves of society, they think that's the rule, not the exception, and they're just wrong. And this is the issue with the baby boomers, is that they're still living in this falsehood of the 50s and 60s and 70s, where, I mean, hell, even the 80s. I mean, just look at some of these videos they post on YouTube about growing up in the 80s, high school in the 80s and stuff, and it's very white. If you went to a ethnically diverse school, but those were the exceptions, certainly not the rule. And that's just not the case anymore. And we live in a very affluent northern Fulton County town, and it's definitely predominantly white, but it's not heavy white. I'll tell you that right now. It's just not. And it's going to be interesting to see how this shakes out, because has there ever been a society that is a large number of minorities all vying for power? I just don't know. I imagine there probably has been. I just don't know what it is. But it's going to be interesting to see. And all these idiots, all these white people particularly, well, this is great. White people are losing, they're losing power and stuff. These people are just dumbasses. No other way around it. Those are idiots. The white guilt is so boring. You're like, oh God. And the problem, of course, is as more and more whites recognize that we are the minority, more and more whites are going to be a gathering force to say, hey, if everyone else can join an affiliation based on skin, why can't we? And as a Christian, that's not good. We don't want a skin color as our basis for our existence. We want our love of Jesus. And this is my concern, frankly, is that they're gonna try to separate, being evil, satanic, to separate you to race, our uniforms, our skin, essentially, and that's not good. And I just hope people don't fall for that. And I just hope they fall on their knees to turn to Jesus and his Father, the Heavenly Father, who created the whole world, the whole universe, to love us as we should honor him. I just hope that's what we do, but I am kind of worried about that.
So, just people are scared. But my question is why they still hold the population? When you go into these little towns in all 50 states, there are still heavy white populations of people. Even though some are going like little small towns, but you go into West Virginia, some parts of Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, they still have the biggest population, and they still on the outskirts. I'm talking about you go into these little towns where it's like a little rural town, from Appalachia to little rural. They still maintain the dominance, and some of them haven't all died out. They might be the class as far as poor as it is, but it's still a lot of poor white people in the areas. So But it's just it goes back to them people that made that town and saying that we're gonna call this a white town, the ones in Arkansas, and it looks dumb. It looks stupid. It's like, why would you form a town when there's already all these counties and towns? It's just crazy. And I mean, you can go and look, and people are very insecure about that. They're very, very insecure about them being, and some people, the ones that make a big deal and they put it over the internet, and they let, now it's like they get, people clown, and maybe, I don't know, maybe they thinking that people, and really it work out and say, go ahead. But when you get out there, take all your like this one video with this one guy had, I just watched it. Take all the things that you need and separate. You want to separate yourself? Separate yourself. But it's like, wow. But just don't harm other people, because you can't get what you want and terrorize other people. That's what most people in these other national, they don't care about that stuff. But it's like, it's something very insecure, what I notice with some people who happen to be white. Why is that? It is a concern. When you still hold, if you go to any state, I mean, literally, go to, within the state, within the county. I mean, there's a lot of rural country. I'm talking about miles of farmland that is, people put a trailer park on it, a mobile home on it. I just don't understand it. And then, you have these idiots that want to start something, that want to join the Ku Klux Klan and bother the white people who choose to live among the other people. And it may be some circumstances that it don't necessarily it was race. It's just that it was just a misunderstanding. But let me go to the.
Introducing Penn Station's Penn Pears for $7.99. A treat, oh yeah, of grilled subs paired with fresh.
The thought of maybe my ignorance and my stupidity led to this failure, it is too much for them. They can't compute it, because for centuries they've been telling themselves that they're better than because of the color of their skin, because they're white, they're pure, they're God's gift to earth, you know what I mean? And their whole existence depends upon having their ego stroked by society. And if you don't stroke their ego, they're gonna lash out, they're gonna wild out. And it's because they don't have any kind of culture. They don't have anything to really cling to besides whiteness. Because a lot of white people have lost their culture as a result of coming over here from Europe. And because they lost their culture, lost their heritage, they're always trying to infiltrate black and brown communities and take what they can and bring it back to them, you know what I mean? Because it's like they see that our communities are built on love and care for one another. And white supremacy doesn't allow for that. It drives for individualism. It drives for you not to care about anybody but yourself, because you're trying to reach a level of white supremacy that'll allow you to not think about anybody, that'll allow you to be extremely superior. White supremacy doesn't just mean supremacy over black and brown folks. It's supremacy over other white people as well. Because capitalism is one of the things that really holds up white supremacy and allows it to function and run rampant.
No black, no gay, and no Jewish people. That is the rule in this white-only town being built in Arkansas. Nope, this isn't 1950. It's happening right now in 2025 in the Ozarks. A group called Return to the Land has built what they proudly call a whites-only community on 160 acres in the Ozarks. They've got cabins, roads, fences, wells, community center, and even a private schoolhouse, all for people who pass their strict racial and cultural tests. To live there, you must be white with European ancestry, straight, Christian, and you cannot be black, Jewish, LGBTQ, or follow a non-European religion. They vet applicants with video interviews, and some are even asked to prove their ancestry. The founders, Eric Orwell and Peter Sears, say that they want to create a, quote, fortress for the white race. In their own words, you want a white nation, build a white town. Now, here's the thing, they're calling it a private membership association to dodge federal housing laws. Basically, they sell membership shares through a company called Wisdom Woods LLC, and rather than traditional deeds, which they claim makes them exempt from anti-discrimination laws like the Fair Housing Act. And shockingly, well, maybe not, there's already 40 people living on the site and hundreds more worldwide are applying. They say they have things like goat herding, homeschool programs, flute recitals, and even a white baby bounty, basically rewarding white females for having more children. And I saw one of their interviews, and even the dog is white. And get this, they're not stopping in Arkansas. They've already announced plans to expand into Missouri near Springfield. Now, civil rights groups like the NAACP and Anti-Defamation League and state officials are calling it what it is. They're calling it an experiment in segregation, racism, and legal loopholes. Arkansas's Attorney General is investigating, but as of right now, this community is still operating, still growing, and still recruiting. This isn't just a hate group in the woods, you got.
The reason why I laugh because they really white. They want the white dogs. Like damn, even the dogs gotta be white. The birds gotta be white. Everything gotta be white. Like you know, and like I was saying, oh Jesus. There you go.
It's a test case to see if they can build a future where civil rights laws don't apply, as long as they call it private. This is insane.
It's like if white people are telling you, I don't want you to be near me, why are you trying to be near them, or why are you mad that they're trying to get away from you? It's like, it's coming off as like weird. Like, why do you want to be in proximity of people that don't want to be in proximity to you? Why do you want to be in, like, why? It's coming off weird. It's coming off self-hating because, like, why do you not want to just be around people that look like you? You know what I'm saying? Why do you? And I don't have a problem being around anybody. I'm just saying, like, if a certain group is telling you, hey, I don't want to be near you,
right,
and they think their population is getting genocide, which is not, let them go. Go build all that land in Arkansas. I hope y'all have the best community. I hope it's safe. I hope y'all succeed. I really do. Imagine if we got all the races to go to Arkansas.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Like, could you imagine a world like that?
A whites-only community could be coming to Missouri in 2025, and yes, you are hearing me correctly. An actual group called Return to the Land is trying to build a segregated whites-only town near Springfield, Missouri. And this isn't parody, and this is not satire. This is happening in America right now. The founder says that they want to return to their roots. But, come on, guys, let's be real. This isn't about heritage. This is about hate. This is about building a safe space for white supremacy under the guise of community. And what's even more disturbing, these people feel so emboldened these days that they're not even hiding it anymore. They're openly promoting racial segregation like it's normal, like this country didn't literally fight an actual civil war to end this bullshit. This is what happens when politicians feed the lie that diversity is the problem. This is what happens when you have people in power pushing the idea that America was better when it was whiter. They want to isolate.
Well, let me come in and interrupt with this one. Well, technically, to some counties and towns throughout America, they still have it like that. It's on the police department, is with the judges, attorneys, and still they want to run the government like that. And then when something happens to an individual, who's particularly when black individuals get it, they find out otherwise. So it's already been happening. You go to towns like, Harrison, Arkansas, Vidor, Texas, and still you can hear from the people themselves. And they're having white people that talk to podcasters saying, yeah, we do have it. Yeah, you better not go in these different towns at a certain time of night. We've heard truckers say this. And really, what the thing is, we trying to warn other people is that to get away from those people and be careful, because these people they have a sick mentality, that whatever it is. But we know that, but That's what the people choose that. But they get mad and they start stuff with the white people who choose to be around other cultures, whatever this person's sexual orientation, their religion. Okay, but they want to live around Hispanic, blacks, and Jews. That's fine. Why are you worried about the white people who choose to live around blacks and these other people? Go do yourself. Go do you. And if I was a white person, I would like, well, they don't reflect on, because I don't believe it. I ain't gonna teach if you had kids to teach that crap. So I wouldn't even let these people bother me. And really, common sense can tell you the white population, they said, is on the decline. But I don't know, places I've seen, towns I've been through, in some towns outside your major cities, in little towns, I try to stay away from sundown towns, but even your sundown towns are still majority white. What the heck? I don't get it. So, for them to do that was really dumb. I mean, to say that, it's like, well, dude, you don't have to go build up a whole town. Hell, there's a lot of towns that are still predominantly white. And it's towns that black people will not go through, or other people will go through. Now, as far as the people with the different sexual orientation, that's another story. And religions, but hey, it is what it is. And some people don't understand that people gonna be people. Only God can change the heart of a person. And gives them common sense that there's other people on the planet. No, you're not supposed to be over another group of human beings. And whatever they was taught and believed and stuff like that, it's sad. But I wouldn't, but for the people, just leave them people. They're idiots. Clearly idiots. I mean, common sense will tell you. But hey, let them choose to go out there and do that. But let's see what happens when the weather disaster is going to happen. Let's see if they going to need help when they have emergency services. Whether it can be an accident on their farm or it can be weather related. But they want to get away from the people. And you don't have a hospital or facility. What you going to do if you need just the basic needs like gas for your vehicles? Just certain things. So you can tell some things ain't really wasn't planned out right. Certain things, which in grocery stores and stuff like that. Yeah, you can grow some stuff out there, but you might want something to drink or whatever. I mean, it could be something minute, really. And how you gonna do your sewer system out there? That's another thing. How you gonna cleanse yourself? Have a proper irrigation out there. But hey, I would say, let them people go. But for the people who's worried about their population dropping, no. Despite what they see, travel across this country, go in your next town, and you'll see, if you're white or what other race, you'll see what I'm talking about. There's more majority of white people. They're on council. They're on your council in different, and your firemen, your police officers, sheriff deputies, city workers are in the white towns. Majority of people, the people that do the construction, sometimes you might see some Latinos out there building up, but majority of the towns is still predominantly white. You might see one black person, maybe a white couple with two adopted black mixed race children, but no one. It's not like it's like a magnitude out there. It's like one, and you know what it was? Is because somebody sees somebody white and black together, whether it be a white male or with a black female or whatever, or a white female with a black, and they get ape shit about it, and they start worrying about their race is going. And that's one white female that chooses to have a husband, or that white husband choose to one outside the race. It don't affect the whole freaking white race. And I'm telling you, that's why they got scared, ladies and gentlemen. So that's why they form these form these communities. Right, one of the reasons why they form the communities, we're gonna lose our white culture. Well, you know, white people got a lot of culture. They don't even realize it. Think about it. They got the rodeo. They got things that they can do. Gothic. They have Gothic music, Gothic slam fest. They got their own culture. It's not. Trust me. They got a thing called the Redneck Olympics out there where they go get together from all over these little rural towns, and they have festivals out there. They make their own festivals. You go and get. So they make up their culture as they go. Tractor farming. They race tractors, whatever. They do all. White people got some stuff, man. You be surprised, and that's them. Ain't nothing to me. It's just uniquely who you. Some of them different walks of life. Some people like, pickleball. That's the big thing with them now. Pickleball to freaking NASCAR riding, majority motocross racing, derby, everything. White people still get and stuff. I just don't understand that. The type of music, country music, blues, southern rock, Christian rock, Christian. They're from Christian music. They got it. It's like it's different from art, but it's it's Christian music, and then they got their own version of country music. They got 2 or 3 different country music, 2 or 3 different fights of rock. This is what, even though black people did invent country rock and roll, but white people took and put their spin to it, and they got from the old rock from back in the Bee Gees up to the whatever. You'll hear about your co-workers, they know, but it's like you lose. It's like, what culture you losing? And it's white celebrity, so you don't have to worry about. It's the image, your weatherman's white, the shortsman's white, the mailman's man gonna be white, your teacher gonna be white. What the? Oh my goodness! But anyway, I don't want to go into the. I didn't mean to go into that rant, but it's really stupid. And even if some white people come across this video, I'm telling the truth. It's stupid as hell to make when you live in a town or you live and you're white yourself, you can see it for yourself. No other people. That probably don't even cross your mind, but then you're like, what is the big deal? But reality, you still have 85% of the population. You might work at a place that's 85% white. Or the church. Oh, anyway, let me get off of here. All right, then, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, man, people take something, and why can't we all live at peace and just be happy, man? And just for the people that enjoy diversity, God bless you. The ones that don't, let them go on about their business, and don't be mad. And there's some idiots in this world. You can't stop them from being who they are. That's just their personality. Take care, be blessed, and see you on the next video. Sorry, hope the video was not too long. Bye.